My girlfriend said, "We're pregnant. Isn't this exciting?" I responded, "Who exactly is we?" And her smile vanished. I'm Kieran, 33, and the text came at 4:12 p.m. on a Thursday. My girlfriend Rhiannon, 30, had been dating for about 19 months. The message read, "Family dinner at my parents' tonight. 6:30 sharp. Wear something nice. It's important." I showed up at 6:35 in dark jeans and a blazer. The moment her mother opened the door, I knew something was off. There were pastel balloons everywhere, pink, blue, yellow. Her mom was already tearing up before she even hugged me. "Oh, sweetheart, I'm so thrilled for you both," she whispered, squeezing my shoulders. I walked into their dining room and froze. Her entire family was there. Parents, both siblings, her brother's wife, even her grandmother. Everyone was grinning like they just won the lottery. Rhiannon stood in the center wearing this flowing dress, both hands resting on her stomach in that unmistakable pose. "Surprise!" she practically sang, rushing over to grab my hands. "We're pregnant. 11 weeks. Isn't this incredible?" The room erupted. Her father was shaking my hand so hard I thought my shoulder would dislocate. Her mother sobbed openly. Her sister was already talking about baby showers and gender reveals. Her brother clapped me on the back hard enough to knock the wind out of me. I was doing math in my head. 11 weeks meant she got pregnant in mid-January. Dear subscribers, if you like these stories, I would be very happy if you would support me by liking and subscribing. This will help me create even better stories for you. We've been together since April of last year. So that wasn't the issue. The issue was something far more fundamental. Who exactly is we? I said it quietly, but everyone went silent anyway. She laughed, that high-pitched, nervous laugh she did when she was uncomfortable. "What? Us, babe. You're going to be a father." I pulled out my phone, opened my medical files app, and found the document I'd saved 2 years ago. "That's going to be difficult," I said, voice completely flat, "since I've been medically sterile for over 2 years. I held up my phone showing the pathology report. Big letters across the top. Post-chemotherapy azoospermia. Date from March 2 full years ago, 8 months before we even met. "These are my medical records from testicular cancer treatment," I continued. "0 viable sperm count. Medically impossible to conceive naturally. So unless this is an actual miracle, that baby isn't mine." Her face went white, not pale white, like every drop of blood had just drained from her body. "Wait. What?" I handed my phone to her father. He put on his reading glasses, squinted at the screen, and I watched his expression shift from confused to shocked to absolutely furious in about 5 seconds flat. Her mother grabbed the phone from him, started reading, and her hand flew to her mouth. "The treatment was 2 years ago," I said to the room, "before Rhiannon and I ever met. I have documentation from 3 different oncologists. So I'm really curious. Who's the actual father?" Rhiannon started hyperventilating, clutching the back of a chair. "No, no, no. You never told me you couldn't have kids." "You're absolutely right," I said calmly. "I was planning to tell you if we ever got engaged. It didn't seem relevant for casual dating. Though apparently it didn't matter since you were getting pregnant with someone else's child anyway." Her brother stepped forward, face red. "Dude, what the hell is this?" "This is your sister attempting to pass off another man's baby as mine," I replied. "Which part are you confused about?" Rhiannon collapsed into a dining chair, ugly crying, mascara running, the whole performance. "It was an accident. Just once. It didn't mean anything." Her father's face was turning purple. "Get out. Dad, please," she started. "Not you," he snapped, pointing at me. "Him. Get out of my house." I stared at him. "Your daughter just tried to commit paternity fraud, and I'm the one getting kicked out? You humiliated her in front of her entire family," her mother shrieked. "You monster." I grabbed my jacket from the coat rack. "Cool. Enjoy sorting this out." As I headed for the door, her mother grabbed my arm hard enough to leave marks. "How dare you do this to her?" I stopped and looked her dead in the eye. "Your daughter cheated on me. got pregnant by another man, threw a surprise family party to announce it as mine. And somehow I'm the villain here. You people are genuinely insane. I walked out, got in my car, and sat there for 15 minutes because my hands were shaking too badly to drive. My phone started exploding immediately. 26 missed calls from Rhiannon in the first hour alone. Her brother, her mother, for mutual friends all asking what the hell happened. I drove to my buddy Caspian's place. He took one look at my face and handed me a beer without a word. The next morning, Rhiannon showed up at my apartment at 6 a.m., pounding on the door like the building was on fire. I opened it with the chain still on. She looked wrecked. Same clothes from the night before, makeup smeared everywhere, hair tangled. "We need to talk," she said desperately. "You have to let me explain." "Explain what?" "You're pregnant with someone else's kid. The math is pretty straightforward. It was a mistake. One stupid drunken mistake. I was confused and lonely and... Save it." I cut her off. "I genuinely don't care. We're done. You can't just throw away 19 months over one night. Watch me." I started closing the door. She stuck her foot in it. "I love you, Kieran. Not him. You're the one I want to be with. You're the one I want to raise this baby with." Fascinating story. "Move your foot or I'm calling the cops for trespassing." She moved it. I slammed the door. I could hear her sobbing in the hallway for another 20 minutes before she finally left. At work, my phone kept blowing up. Her mother left me a voicemail. "You need to stop being childish and talk to my daughter. She made one mistake. One. And you're throwing her away like garbage. What kind of man abandons a woman carrying his child?" I deleted it without finishing. Then her father called. I answered out of morbid curiosity. "You have some nerve embarrassing my family like that," he started immediately. "Your daughter embarrassed your family. I just had medical records. She's devastated, crying nonstop. You broke her. She broke herself when she slept with another guy. Not my problem. That baby could still be yours. Those tests aren't 100% accurate." I actually laughed. "Your daughter is 11 weeks pregnant. I've been medically sterile for over 2 years with documentation from multiple specialists. There's no could be here. It's biologically impossible. You're going to regret this," he hissed. "She's the best thing that ever happened to you. If that's the best, I'd hate to see the worst." I hung up. Thursday afternoon, I got a DM from a guy I didn't recognize. "We need to talk. About Rhiannon." "Who is this?" "The real father. Can we meet? I'll buy you a beer." I gave him the address of a bar near my apartment. He was already there when I arrived. Decent-looking guy, maybe 31, software engineer type. Looked nervous as hell. He slid a beer across to me as I sat down. "I'm really sorry, man. I had no idea she had a boyfriend. She told me she was single." "When did you two hook up?" "December, January, and February. 3 times total. She always said she was newly single and just having fun." He made air quotes around having fun. 3 times, I repeated slowly. Not one drunken mistake. 3 separate times over 3 months. Yeah, and honestly, I thought we were actually dating. We'd meet up, talk for hours, she'd stay over. Then in March, she just ghosted me completely. Blocked my number, unfriended me online. Everything. "Let me guess," I said. "That's when she started pushing really hard to get serious with me. Talking about moving in together, meeting each other's families." Jesus. He looked sick. "She played both of us. I only found out about the pregnancy yesterday," he continued. "Her friend reached out and told me I needed to step up and be a father. But when I tried contacting Rhiannon, she told me to stay away. Said she had it handled. Handled meaning trapping me into raising your kid. Looks like it. For what it's worth, I want to be involved. I'll do a paternity test, pay support, the whole thing. I'm not trying to run from this." "You seem like a decent guy," I said. "Way better than she deserves." "You too, man. We both got played." He gave me his number. "If you need anything for legal purposes, testimony, messages, whatever. I'm here. I saved his contact as real dad. The next few days were a nightmare of harassment. Rhiannon showed up at my apartment twice more. Her mother appeared at my office and somehow got past the front desk by claiming to be my aunt. I had to call security to remove her while she screamed that I was abandoning my responsibilities. Then on Tuesday, I got served with legal papers. She was actually filing for paternity and child support. I called a family lawyer immediately. Her name was Miriam, came highly recommended. "This is the stupidest lawsuit I've seen in 8 months," she said after reviewing everything. "You have ironclad medical documentation proving sterility, but we still have to respond. Get an official paternity test and file to dismiss." "How much is this going to cost me?" "Probably $2,000 with court costs. I'll try to get her to pay your fees, but family court is unpredictable." The paternity test was scheduled at a clinic. The technician looked at my medical records and just shook her head. "Why is she even pursuing this? Your guess is as good as mine." The results took 12 days. Came back 0% probability of paternity. Shocking absolutely no one. During those 12 days, the harassment escalated. Her mother called my mother, told her I was abandoning Rhiannon and my child. My mom called me furious until I explained the situation and sent her my medical records. Then my mom called Rhiannon's mom back and apparently tore into her so viciously that I got an apology text from Rhiannon's father. The court hearing for the restraining order was on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. I showed up in a suit. My lawyer met me outside. She brought her parents and a court-appointed attorney, Miriam told me. Looks like she couldn't afford anyone decent. We walked into the courtroom. Rhiannon was showing now maybe 4 months along. She looked exhausted and miserable. Good. The judge was an older guy who looked tired of this exact type of nonsense. "Mr. Kieran," he said, "you're seeking a restraining order against Ms. Rhiannon. State your case." Miriam stood. "Your Honor, my client has been subjected to sustained harassment following the end of their relationship. This includes multiple early morning appearances at his residence, workplace harassment, and most egregiously, filing a false paternity claim despite medical evidence proving he is sterile. We have documentation of all incidents and the paternity test results showing 0% probability." She handed over a thick folder. The judge flipped through it slowly. "Ms. Rhiannon," he said, "what's your response?" Her court-appointed attorney stood, a kid who looked about 24. "Your Honor, my client is pregnant and emotional. She's been trying to maintain contact with the father of her child." "He's not the father," Miriam interrupted. "We have medical records showing he's been medically sterile for over 2 years prior to their relationship. Additionally, the actual biological father has come forward and submitted to paternity testing, confirming 99.9% probability." The judge looked at Rhiannon. "Is this true? Did you file a paternity claim knowing he couldn't biologically be the father?" Silence. Then, very quietly, "Yes." Her mother actually gasped. Apparently she hadn't admitted this part to her family. "And you've been showing up at his home and workplace repeatedly?" "I just wanted to talk to him," she whispered. "To explain." "And where is the biological father in all this?" Real dad stood up from the back of the courtroom. "Here, Your Honor. I've been trying to establish paternity and support, but Ms. Rhiannon has refused my involvement. She even offered me money to deny paternity so she could continue pursuing Mr. Kieran." The judge sat back in his chair, expression somewhere between disbelief and disgust. "Let me see if I understand this correctly. You're pregnant by him," pointing at real dad, "but you've been harassing him," pointing at me, "trying to force him to claim paternity, even after medical evidence proved it was impossible." "I love him," Rhiannon sobbed. "Not the other guy. I made a mistake. But I love Kieran and I wanted him to be the father." "That's not how biology works, ma'am," the judge said flatly. Someone in the courtroom actually laughed. "The restraining order is granted for 2 years, he continued. "No contact whatsoever. Additionally, I'm dismissing your paternity claim with prejudice, meaning you cannot refile." You are barred from making any legal claims regarding this child against Mr. Kieran. Furthermore, I'm ordering you to pay his legal fees in the amount of, he checked the paperwork, $2,100. Rhiannon's face crumpled. As for you, the judge said to Real Dad, we'll need to schedule a separate hearing to properly establish your paternity and support obligations. But that's between you and Ms. Rhiannon. Real Dad nodded. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Rhiannon, the judge said sternly, you need to leave this man alone and focus on the actual father of your child. If you violate this restraining order, you will be held in contempt. Do you understand? Yes, she whispered. We're done here. Outside the courthouse, her father tried approaching me. Miriam immediately stepped between us. Restraining order is in effect. Back up. He backed up, hands raised. This is ridiculous. She's pregnant and alone, and now she has to pay $2,000 she doesn't have. Should have thought about that before she filed a false paternity claim and harassed my client repeatedly, Miriam said coldly. Let's go, Kieran. Real Dad caught up with us in the parking lot. Thanks for not making this harder than it had to be. You seem like a decent guy, I said. You'll be a good dad. I'm going to try. She's making it impossible. But at least the court's forcing her hand now. He shook his head. She actually told me last week she'd rather have no father involved than have me involved. Said I was embarrassing. She's delusional. Yeah, I'm documenting everything for the custody battle that's definitely coming. He shook my hand. Good luck with everything, man. You too. You're going to need it more than me. The next few weeks were blissfully quiet. The restraining order was working. No calls, no door knocking, nothing. I got a message from Rhiannon's sister-in-law. Just wanted you to know, her parents finally cut her off. They found out she'd been lying to them about everything. Told them you knew about the affair and had agreed to raise the baby anyway. All kinds of manipulation. They're furious. She's on her own now. Last I heard through mutual friends, Rhiannon moved 3 hours away to live with her aunt. Her parents essentially disowned her after discovering the extent of her lies. The aunt's making her work at her bakery to earn her keep. Real Dad got his paternity established officially. He's paying support and getting ready for visitation once the baby's born. Rhiannon fought it hard but lost every motion. She tried violating the restraining order twice, once by showing up at my gym, once by demanding me from a fake account. Both times got reported. The second time she had to appear in court for contempt and got a warning that extended the order to 3 years. As for me, life's genuinely good now. I started seeing someone new, met her through work. Third date, I told her about the fertility issue. Expected her to bail. She shrugged. I don't want kids anyway, and you've got medical proof, so that's one less thing to worry about. We've been together 5 months now. It's easy. No drama. No lies, no manipulation. Just normal, healthy communication. That whole nightmare taught me something valuable. Trust your instincts. Red flags are red flags for a reason. And when someone shows you who they really are, believe them immediately. Also, medical records are apparently the most valuable thing you can own. That one PDF saved me from 18 years of raising another man's child. Sometimes I think about how close I came to being trapped. If she'd managed to convince me the baby was somehow mine despite medical impossibility. If I hadn't had those records accessible that night. If I'd proposed before finding out. Different life. Worse life. But I'm here, I'm free, and that's what matters. She made her choices. She's living with the consequences. And that's not my problem anymore.